It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. Today's video is titled LUNC and the Blue Bumblebee. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now, let's get into the video. So I want to share in today's video two unique things that I saw on Monday, June 29th. These two things came as confirmation to the message that I have been sharing in previous videos. And that message is LUNC rise timeline will cross paths with the market crash timeline, referring to BTC 80% crash. This message was shared first on December 5th, 2025. And I have shared that recently in two videos explaining how the market crash indicators that I was seeing in 2025, I was starting to see them again in 2026. Here's that first video titled The Continuation of the BTC 80% Crash. And the second video, Luna Rise and BTC 80% Crash Update, Japan. In these videos, I explain in great details what I'm going to be briefly covering in this video and sharing what is new. So looking at unique indicators, I've shared in those previous videos, there are indicators for Luna Rise timeline and there are indicators for BTC 80% crash timeline. And here is that lineup. On the right side, we have BTC crash indicators. Whenever I see these things, whether they are in a dream or taking place in a unique way, I know that these are indications of a crash. On the left side of the screen, we have all of the Luna or LUNC indicators. When I see these things, I know that these are indicators for something to do with Luna. Again, this began back in 2025 as I began to build this list of indicators for each of these coins. Now, I've come to realize that Savannah is an indicator that can represent both Luna or BTC crash. It just depends on how God presents it. More on that in just a little bit. And for more details about Savannah and how she fits into both of these coins, here are those two specific videos you can go back and watch to get that bit of detail. But again, anytime I see these indicators in my dream or in some unique way, I see it as a sign of confirmation to the message. Once again, Luna Rise timeline will cross paths with the market crash timeline, referring to BTC 80% crash. Now let's look at what's new. On Monday, June 29th, I saw this. I saw a post about these blue bumblebees. Very unique in color. At first, I thought it was an AI picture, but I went and looked it up. And sure enough, these are real bumblebees. Again, this post was on Sunday, June 28th. I did not see this post until Monday, June 29th. A little bit of fun facts about these bees. They are native of Southeast Asia, as well as India and parts of southern China. The female blue bumblebees create what is called bee bread. It is made from pollen and nectar, and it is used as a food source and a resting place for their newly laid eggs. The blue carpenter bumblebees. Based on the indicators that we've been using, the bumblebees or bee represents Luna or LUNC. This moves us into the second thing that I saw on Monday, June 29th. Immediately after I saw the post about the blue bees, I saw this post, The Today Show. The Sunday segment was about Morgan Freeman. Again, I did not see this until Monday, but this also posted on Sunday. This segment about Morgan Freeman reminded me of bees. I came across Morgan Freeman as it relates to terraphilia. Morgan Freeman equals beekeeper or bees, and that is connected to Luna. For more information about how Morgan Freeman was connected to all of this, here are those two terraphilia videos that I put out. April 5th was the first one. And then here is the third video that I did about Morgan Freeman as it relates to bumblebees. Getting back to the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie. When I think Today Show, I think about Savannah Guthrie. And because Luna has already been taken as an indicator to Morgan Freeman, so she's representing the crash or BTC, and Morgan Freeman is representing Luna. Together, all of these indicators together, Morgan Freeman, the bumblebee, the Today Show, and Savannah Guthrie, together they both create the message. Luna Rise timeline will cross paths with the market crash timeline. We see this in one setting. This Sunday segment on Morgan Freeman highlighted Morgan Freeman's thoughts about the importance of the blues in American history. It was stated in this segment that Morgan Freeman will be releasing an album, a blues album, on August 7th, 2026. The name of this album is titled Morgan Freeman's Symphonic Blues Experience. Morgan Freeman, actor, narrator, beekeeper, and record producer. Seeing the word blues and Morgan Freeman together reminded me of the blue bee. The blues, blue bee, putting it together, these are once again Luna indicators. So because we're looking at the color blue, blues, blue bee, I went ahead and derived the date using the color blue. If you've been following my channel, you know that there are numbers connected to these colors that God gave me in a market crash dream. So blue represents 40 days, adding 40 days to Sunday. Both of these things were done on Sunday. The blue bee post was on Sunday. The Today Show segment was on a Sunday. So I'm adding 40 days to June 28th. Sunday, June 28th, to derive the date of August the 7th. I thought this was not a coincidence because the derived date is the same day that he's going to be releasing his blues album. So to me, this comes as confirmation. There's something about this date. I'm not sure what, but there's something about this August 7th date that I will be looking out for. So I'm going to put this as a date on our derived date list. And then finally, looking at the live tour dates. He's going to be doing a live tour August the 7th in Houston, Memphis, September 26th, and then in Mississippi on October 17th. October 17th, out of all these dates, stuck out to me because last year and the year before, I was going heavy on this date of October 17th. This is a date that was given to me in a market crash dream. And in 2024, I released this video about this date. In 2025, I did another video about this date. So I don't think that it's a coincidence that I came across this date once again. I had said, Lord, I'm not going to talk about October 17th this year in 2026. Unless you allow this date to come up in some way, then I will speak on it. And sure enough, here we are looking at October 17th. And so let's quickly talk about it. October 17th not only was a market crash date that I have been speaking about, but it is an indicator to a market crash. Not only is it an indicator, the colors yellow and red represents October 17th. These are market crash colors. October 17th could represent a crash or collapse of a government, of an economy. Again, it can also be a crash date, but not so far. It's connected to Israel and the war that was started on October 7th, 2023, that attack. And my dream about this date was on September 27th, 2023, only 10 days before that October 7th attack in 2023. October 17th is connected to the Eiffel Tower. You have to go back and look at those videos from last year. And that is connected to BTC 80% crash. And here are those previous videos if you want to go back and take a look at those. Again, here we are at October 17th once again. So putting this together, Morgan Freeman's tour date with Morgan Freeman as represents Luna, we are still looking at a Luna rise indicator. Again, because of Morgan Freeman. And we're looking at a crash indicator as relates to October 17th, that particular date. Putting these indicators together, once again, it confirms the message of Luna rise timeline will cross paths with the market crash timeline. And so on the BTC crash timeline, along with the Eiffel Tower, as seen previously, you have the date of October 17th being added as an indicator. And then I decided to turn to some data using the date of October 6th. This date is important because it's the day that BTC hit its all-time high last year. And it's also the date that the Eiffel Tower dream, as it relates to the SPY ETF, it reached the specific price in that dream on October 6th. So this date is very important. So what I did was I created data for 3 different scenarios. The first scenario has to do with the percent change of all of these coins: Bitcoin, Luna, Ethereum, XRP, and XLM, just as examples. Looking at their closing price on October the 6th, 2025, comparing it to the price on June 30th, 2026, looking at that percent change to kind of see if this message still holds. If you want to go back and check out the video where I shared this October 6th date, here is that video, very recent video. October 10th is when I posted it. And so again, looking at that percent change on that particular day, the closing price of these coins compared to the price that they were on June 30th, 2026. And as we can see here, the message Luna rise will cross paths with the market crash timeline. We see that Luna has the least negative amount of percent change. Everyone else is 50 or more in the negative on percent changes. The next scenario, number 2, has to do with the extreme low in the month of October 2025. We know that October was a very low month for these coins, as well as a very high month again for BTC, hitting its all-time high. So looking at the extreme low for all of these coins in the month of October versus the price again in the month of June. Going back to the message again, 277% compared to the other coins. They have dropped still in the negative 40% or more as far as a percent change from that time last year up until now. Again, looking at the extreme low in October, that brings us to our third scenario. And here again, we're looking at the percent change as an average price. We looked at the closing price on October 6th, which was that high for BTC. We looked at the low for BTC in the same month of October when it hit 102. I guess it depends on what platform you're on. I saw it hit 102 as a low in October. And we're looking at the average of all of that in the month of October versus the average in the month of June. By the time we're at June 30th, we're at the end of the month. And so again, that average percentage shows that Luna still is 18% higher. On the plus side, everyone else is in the negative 40% or more. Again, this message that Luna rise will cross paths with the market crash timeline. And that is what I see when I look at these tables of all of these coins compared to Luna. And again, the date of August 7th, I'm putting here simply because it is a derived date based on the colors and the time that I saw this video and also that post, putting it together, deriving the date of August 7th, which is the same day that Morgan Freeman's album is expected to be released. Well, that is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.